Welcome back to another episode of the Hobby Shop Podcast, the podcast for the people. I am Big Ken. He is Zip. Zip, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well today. Doing well. Red Sox won. I was there. First game with the baby. He did pretty good. Then we walked him around the concourse a little bit when he got a little fussy, but he lasted till right at the end of Sweet Caroline, and then that was it. A little bit of temper tantrum, but that was middle of the eighth inning, and we were up 5-2. I think that's what it finished at too. So
do you have to buy him a seat, or does he just sit on your lap?
Nope. He was a lap seat, so he was free.
And if a pop ball comes up, you just toss him to your wife and go dive in for the ball.
Oh yeah. Now, have you seen that guy? There's this guy who a foul ball got drilled at him, and he had the baby and a beer. Like, let go of the baby, caught the ball, then caught the baby, and didn't spill the beer. I could aspire to be that dad level one day, but I'm still in training there.
All I can hear as you're saying that is that, ESPN.
Oh yeah, it was all over the place. I'm sure that was like the top play. Honestly, it was pretty incredible.
I'd like to say it was probably a beautiful day for a baseball game, but I've never been there and to a professional game, and I don't know what a beautiful day would look like. I mean, it's just a nice sunny day, or was it too sunny and get too hot sitting in the sun?
It was like 73, 74, and there was a little bit of a breeze. It was beautiful. It was perfect, man. It really was.
It was a good day.
Yeah, and I had never sat here before, but I wanted to try it out, and there were good seats. It was called it was the roof box, which Fenway is like small enough where like any seat is good, but the roof box, we had like the first or second row of the roof box. So basically, it's the upper deck, but it's so small. It's honestly better than a lot of views you get low. And it was great. I would go sit there every single time.
And you could see everything. You see the players, the hits, the plays on the field.
Yeah,
you're not so far away that you need like binoculars or
not at all. Not at all. And today there was an inside the park home run, which is super rare, and everyone was going wild. Like, place went crazy, and my son was loving it. He didn't know what was going on, but he was loving the excitement. He could understand that. So
he did it for Luca's first game.
Yeah, Luca had quite the experience for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump into today's episode. I'll just give a little rundown what this episode will be tonight. We're going to talk about grading with BGS. We're going to talk about best time of year to take a break in the hobby, keeping the hobby fresh and not getting stale. And at the end, Zip and I, we're going to make NFL predictions for the upcoming season, and we messaged each other. We said we were going to do it. We haven't even shared. Yep. So we were just saying that it could be the same or it could be completely different. So it should be fun, and it's going to be even more fun to look back on this. Back in when it comes to February to the Super Bowl time to see how well we predicted.
Yeah, I feel like I have one that's like a little. I'll explain it when we go into. I have one that is definitely be like, "What are you talking about?" But I gut feeling.
Yep. So we're going to kick it off with BGS, and this is something you and I have talked about. We've talked about this in our group chat a little bit too. That some of us are starting to find some benefit in utilizing not with every card, but certain cards, we're starting to find value in using, BGS to grade some cards. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to start out. I'm going to talk about one card, and then we could just kind of jump right into it. And hopefully we'll get some comments in the chat about it too, see how other people feel. But here I have a Michael Penix Jr. It is, Silver Prism. And it is a BGS 9.5. I'm holding that up now. And 4 subgrades are all 9.5, so it's a gem mint. So Originally, when I sent this card to PSA, back in 8. So I took it out, wiped it down, and said, you know what? I'm going to try BGS. Right? I never sent a card to BGS before on my own. I used a subber that I'd sent some cards to, but I never sent it. I said, let me figure out this experience, and I can talk about it. Right? Um, the card came back a 9.5. So the card as an 8 in a PSA 8 is about a $28 card. Right? So already it's like you're barely getting the grading cost out of I'm PSA. Um, but now as the card sits, it's I'm going to say there was one sale for 163 back in, I think it was the end of June, beginning of July. But that's one sale. But comparably, if it went to between a PSA 9 and a 10, right, it should, get $200 or so.
Yeah. And it's so it's really interesting when you're valuing BGS 9.5s because all the subgrades can make things different too. Like say you had 3 9.5s and a 10, or you know what I mean, that could boost it even more. But interestingly enough, I had a card that I sent out to Beckett. It was actually from when we hosted the EC3 Con, the trade night. It was a gold wave Anthony Edwards optic, which it's not numbered, but they're really, really short printed. And I had all intentions of sending to PSA, right? Because I think in a PSA 10, it was like it's over 1,000. And then in a 9, it's like, I don't know, like 200 to 400. I know that's a variety. I don't know exactly. That's the range though, and I basically paid above what a 9 is. And I looked at it at the show, everything looked good, and I got home and I'm like, oh, this is why I didn't get sent to PSA, right? Of course, like but it wasn't like a surface scratch. It was weird, and I don't really know how I can explain it. It was optic card, right? So it was on the bottom border, and it was almost like if a scratch, like what a scratch would look like, was like raised almost. It was like texture. There was texture there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like schmutz. Like like it was literally like not cracked, but like, does that make sense? It's like a line. It was like a line and some squiggles and spiderwebby almost, right? Making it sound way more dramatic than it really was.
Yeah.
Right? But like, I'm trying to explain what this was because I grade a lot of cards and this isn't really anything I've ever seen before. So I was like, okay, it's like, I don't know what that is, but doesn't feel great. And other than that, the card is literally perfect. Like,
but I think BGS, right? I think we can agree they're giving favorable grades.
They can
compared to because I think PSA was giving favorable grades, and I think more recently they've gotten to are they controlling like how many 10s are going out, like that type of thing. But I see a lot with these Caitlin Clark cards. And I'm not sure what they're looking at because I'm going through these cards and I see them coming back as 8s and 7s, where I would say like it could gem, but there's a little something here. It may be a 9. And when I was at the National this year, I saw a number of people show up with Caitlin Clark silver prisms in BGS 9.5 trying to get $1,500, asking $1,500 for the cards. I was like, oh my God. Serious? Yeah. Like maybe I should be sending my cards there instead and hope for 9.5s. And obviously you look up the price, they're between like maybe $950 to $1,200, which a PSA 9 is selling closer to $500. Right. So that
Yep. And so to just, I know I kind of got a little long-winded about the Ant-Man, but so it's a 9.5. It's 3 9.5s and then a 9 on the surface or the edges. However they deemed what I was talking about was a 9 though. And okay, it's not a true gem like your Penix, but guess what? In the pop report, it's the only 9.5. It's the highest graded at Beckett now. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know what it's worth, right? But it's the highest graded by Beckett. and it's technically, a 9.5. It's a gem. I think it's gem
But
mint.
so price wise, what is a 9? What is a PSA 9 of that card?
Let
Just,
me
I mean,
pull it up so I'm not talking,
yeah. I mean,
foolishly. And
just having a comparison,
yeah,
and this card is going to consignment. Where's this
yeah,
card gonna go?
I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do is something a little different. So it's off season still for basketball. So I didn't feel like I didn't want to just run it on auction like I normally do with a lot of stuff. So okay, so August 13th, a PSA 9 did 246. Let me look at all sales of this. Okay, here you go. August 13th, PSA 9 did 246, and then the two PSA 10s before that was 1125 and 997. So
So we should imagine that 9.5 should be closer to $800 to $1,000.
yep.
Right?
Yeah, and so I'm gonna have it. So rather than an auction, I guess this is showing my hand a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna have it listed at like 1,000 or best offer on eBay, and then when the season gets closer, I'll just run it. If I don't get an offer, I expect. But yeah, and if I sent that to PSA and I got a 9, I think I paid more than that PSA 9 comp. I think I paid $300 for it because under the light when I was looking, I was like, this thing looks perfect. I was like, I'll take the risk and maybe lose $50 or whatever. And when I got home, I was like, well, I'll definitely lose the $50 at a PSA 9. So I decided, I was like, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
What do I have to lose? So I sent it and it got a 9.5 and we'll see. So
Yeah. Gone Collecting says the BGS subgrades also add a bit of transparency to the process. We're oftentimes figuring out a perplexing PSA grade will keep you guessing. 100%. And sometimes I'm surprised because since this card I sent a number of other cards, that did not get great PSA grades. And then they come back with, 2 9.5s, a 10, and a 9.
Yeah.
Right. And now I can see, well, I know this card got an 8 probably because of what that 9 was, whether it was corners or centering or whatever it was. But I still think, if we can figure out of getting this card for, send it to, BGS to get a 9.5, I think it's going to sell or have a better value than a PSA 9.
Yeah, and another thing too, I just I get let's not get this twisted. PSA is the number one.
Of course they are
dominant. Like we're not trying to say that.
No.
I
I'm
think
just saying if you want to improve a crappy card, if you're in this to sell the card and you're grading it to sell it and you want to improve it and you send it to them and it comes back an 8, or you look at it and say there's an obvious something on there that this card's not going to gem. I mean, my first thought now is, let me look up some of these BGS 9.5s. Is there any, and what are they going for? And is it worth it for me to do all this to get this card back in a 9.5?
Yeah, so BGS is backup grading services, that we're gonna call it. Yeah. It really does provide like a decent option opportunity if you have. For me, it's like if I see a card that I think has one thing that may not allow it to gem, that would be my shot at it. I don't necessarily know how. I mean, maybe if I sent something to PSA and it got a 9, I would try to send it back to Beckett. But I feel like that's something I would kind of determine beforehand.
Yeah. Howard says, pay for the grader notes. Really?
Yeah.
Well, pay more. And the grader notes only come with the higher end.
Oh, right? Really? I have. I would. I don't know. I just, PSA, they are what they are. Another thing too is like, I don't know if this is unpopular or not. Like, I prefer the Beckett slab itself, and I prefer the label itself. Like, the only thing I don't prefer is how they like seem to not know how to run a company. Like, I think that but aside from that, like the product itself, I don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
honestly.
It's funny. I go to these shows, right? We're at the National. I was at West Coast Card Show. BGS is there, and the line is like incredibly long, right? So I know people are still, and I think they, I know the company's had a lot of issues, but I would think because PSA, and I say this, and people get mad at me all the time when I say they're tougher on grades and they're this, they're that. But when the grades aren't coming back as favorable, I think people are going to start to look for other avenues to try. I think people tried the SGC route, and I think people even at SGC 10, you get hammered on
Yeah, and
price
that's
wise.
kind of, I mean, now SGC, that's kind of not, it's almost like it just feels like with SGC, the writing's on the wall that company's gonna just be gone. Like, I don't know how else you view what's happened and think, oh yeah, they'll be up and running fine. Like, I don't see that.
You're saying just absorbed into
Yeah,
PSA?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll probably still be there for a lot of other cards in the industry, especially the vintage stuff and other things. But
At a fraction of what they were doing, though, like very very small percent. I can't imagine like they'll keep up their same. And it's not like I blame PSA. Like, I mean, I guess they are to blame, but like, it's like you can't blame them business wise. Like,
it's all about the money, kid.
yeah, like it's just, yeah.
Homer says, this might be obvious, but I'd rather have a BGS 9.5 than a PSA 9 for investment purposes. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying already. And some of the cards, and you and I were just talking about this before we went live, some of the cards that I have that are my PC right now, but at some point,
Yep.
down the road, I'm going to send those all to BGS, right?
Yeah.
Because they're higher end cards. I got the Superfractor 101. I've got a couple black, sapphire selections numbered to 10. So these cards like this, I'm going to send to PSA. There may be some upcharges, things like that. I'll send them to BGS. I did the same thing a few years ago with all my higher end soccer cards, all my Trinity Rodmans, my Sophia Smith. I sent them all to SGC, and I got them all SGC graded. My Sarah Strongs and things like that I know are not going to gem. They're not going to get 10s, and I don't want a chance getting the upcharges on them. I'm going to send them to BGS, let them get, graded with subgrades printed on there, right? So I know, and everybody else knows, what's good, what's bad.
Yeah,
And
it's also kind of silly too if you like not silly. I was saying something, but then I just totally thought of something else. To kind of to what Howard said, not Howard, oh my gosh, what Homer said about the 9.5 rather than the PSA. If you just think about it, there's a few things. I mean, clearly the number is a higher number, right? Like, if you just think about how people, like psychology of how people are going to want things, it's a higher number. The label's gold. And it's going to be labeled gem mint on it rather than mint. Like, if you just think about it as that, like, I know, and what he says though, as like obvious, like it may be obvious and sound obvious. There's a lot of times that 9 sells real close, if not over the BGS 9.5 sometimes, or there have been,
Yep.
like there are instances of that all the time.
Yep.
But I don't know. I feel like Beckett is not really. I feel like people could utilize them more than they are.
Okay.
Like that's what we're trying to say.
And I want to flip this over the other side now. And in the chat too, you can chime in on this, answering this question. But if you were going to be purchasing a card now, you've identified, I want to purchase this card and put it into my PC, or it's a long-term hold, or whatever it is. It's something you want to acquire, right? If you have the opportunity to get a PSA 9 or a BGS 9.5, would you be attracted to one or the other with just the knowledge that you have of both companies, of a card, if it was a hold or a longer term or something you're going to put in your PC? Does that just become a preference, whether I like the BGS slab or the PSA, or does that grade kind of weigh on you, and how hard it was how hard it was graded as well?
In terms of 9.5 to 9, I'd rather the BGS 9.5, but if you're just going strictly investment, probably the PSA 10. and I think I'd rather a PSA 10 than a BGS 10 pristine, not black label. I'd probably prefer the black label, but
but if you would compare the 9.5 to the 9, the PSA 9 to the BGS 9.5, would you rather have?
I'd take the BGS 9.5 because also then you have it is a gem mint card, and then you also have investment purposes. If you're eventually going to go to sell that, people can also see a BGS 9.5 as upside to become a PSA 10. People love to crack BGS 9.5s to try to cross over into 10s. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
So there's that play to it too, where I mean you can crack a PSA 9 and get it a PSA 10, but I feel like more people would feel that BGS 9.5 may have a shot at it.
Yeah.
Better than PSA 9.
I was at a show today and somebody said, "Oh, that's a beautiful card. I don't know why you just don't crack that and send it to PSA. It's guaranteed a 10." And I laughed because I know it came back from PSA and 8. So.
Will you highlight that last comment? Yeah. So he says Cardboard Collaborative BGS 9.5 will sell for more than a PSA 9, 99%. I agree. There was I always think of this, and it's slightly different. But it was in like the same week, and it was the 2018. Let me pull it up here. 2018 Lamar Jackson Gold Prism. And these cards sold at the same, it was in the same week. Here we go. Let me find it here. I'll view all sales, all graded sales. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. This was December 2024. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
December 22nd of 2024. A BGS 10 black label gold prism Lamar Jackson out of 10, like the gold prism, right? That sold for 43,000 or 43.2K. So 43,200. Then on December 26th, 4 days later, a PSA 10 then did 54,500. So I know, I get what he is saying, and he's right. It's just this is so much more of exaggerated. The example I just gave, and I can never get that out of my head.
But what he's saying is the point I think I am, and I think we are trying to make tonight is if you have a card that you want to grade, right, and you look at the card, like I look at the cards, and you say, you know what? I don't think this is going to gem because I see this mark, or I could see it's off center, or I could see I could see something on it. Aren't we better to take that card? Isn't it in our best interest to send that to BGS and get a 9.5 versus sending it to PSA, waiting the 45 or 50 days and having it coming back a 9?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's also important to know how with BGS and PSA, there's a lot of conflicting data you can go and find. So it's kind of case to case because you're talking a 4 days difference in a black label to a PSA 10. The black label historically should dwarf that sale. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be close, and it was less. So all I can say is when it gets to 10s, I have way less confidence than this 9.5 to 9 because also they're technically not equivalent grades. Clearly the number, but mint to gem mint even.
Yeah.
I think it's important to make that known because when you get to the 10-10, even if the Beckett is pristine and the PSA is gem mint, it's still that's a massive important card, right? A Lamar Jackson true gold prism. That is a very important football card.
Yeah.
So
Howard says, just look at the Tiger rookie black label versus PSA 10. So that we did that today. He's saying that's the Tiger Woods one. We saw that today. The PSA 10, which was at a pop count 14,000 something. And it was selling, Howard helped me out here, I think it was selling for 225 or 250.
I
And
have it right here.
and the black label was selling at like $4,400.
Yeah, 43.65 in the black label. So like, so yeah, and is it's a Pop 91, the black label. Is that, I don't know, is this I don't know, is this gonna sound stupid? Is that an example of where like a more common card is going to be more valuable if it's a black label rather than a card out of 10? Because a card out of 10, it's already out of 10, it's rare, it's scarce, it's everything, you know, it's everything. Then when you're looking at like a flagship like that tiger card, there's all these examples of it and there's a high demand for it, but then you're creating scarce rarity out of the grade. I don't know, is that stupid? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like is a black label that multiplier more important on like a common card? Like, for example,
yeah, I think it's going to be. I understand what you're saying, and I really think it's going to be, if it's a super collector, if it's somebody who's really want to put that card in their PC to either spend he said 300 on the PSA 10 versus 4,400 on a black label. Like you really have to say, I want one of those cards and I want to put it in my PC to with that discrepancy in price.
So if you're just to go back to that, because I just can't get out. So if you're getting that Lamar Jackson card, even though the black label went for less, would you still rather have it than the PSA 10? Because it's ideally it's the best card.
You know what? It's hard for me to answer that question because I would never spend $43,000 or $52,000 on a card. So
okay, but you'd spend $4,000. You'd spend $4,000 on a card. Would you rather have the black label Tiger Woods or the PSA 10?
I'd buy 10 PSA 10s, okay, right? Then one black label.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's just my thought. I know the black label does a lot for a lot of people, does nothing for me. And I guess too, and I shouldn't say it does nothing. I guess, you know, if some Trinity Rodman cards came out that I have, you know, that I have an opportunity maybe to get something because it's my PC. If the price was right, you know, maybe I make the investment, but I can't say that I would overpay that much. You know, and I don't know if that's similar to other PSA 10 to black labels price wise. I don't know if it jumps up that much money.
Because I was just thinking about a card like the Luka Doncic base prism, right? Like I wonder, I'll look it up because now I'm just curious. I wonder what that would be like. Luka Doncic.
While you're doing that, Eric Young, good evening, fellas. Eric, thanks for being here and hanging out with us on a Sunday night. And I'm going to mention the last Sunday night without football until next year. Just me. Gone Collecting says, if I'm really checking a slabbed card closely at a show, especially at the National when I have limited floor time and lots to see, I like BGS because seeing the subgrade saves me time. Yep.
It's fair.
Yep. I agree.
There was one Luka sale for like 12 grand in the black label in 2023. Card Ladder has it valued at like 6,700 now, and the PSA 10 is like a $250 card. So maybe there is something to be said with the more flagship products having that crazy multiplier, you know, on significant flagship cards like the Tiger, like a Luka, like that, you know.
Yeah.
I still think looking at that data though for that Lamar Jackson, with all things being said, that black label sounds like a steal then. Honestly.
Do you think though, when you get into that higher price range, you're eliminating so many people that you know your pool of people who are going to purchase that card have become so small that they're like, oh well, what's available? This one or that one? Well, that one's available, so I'll just buy it. Right?
Sure. So 4 days later, the same card sold. So like maybe they were running at auction the same time and someone was like, well, I'm going to just get the PSA 10 for less than the black label. And then everyone's like, this is the only one available now. So everyone went after the PSA 10 and just makes the black label a deal. I don't know. I could get stuck on that because I see that sale still. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So moving on.
Gotta spend some time on Beckett. Jesus.
I know a lot longer than we wanted, but that's okay. It was good conversation. So I talk to a lot of people who do a lot in the hobby, and this year I felt, this summer with some bigger shows at the end of June, beginning of July, and then the national, and even for me coming home with COVID and being down for a week, and then a week later back to the West Coast, California, doing the West Coast card show out there, and it just got me thinking, like, when is the best time to take a break in the hobby? And I say this because a lot of us talk about going on vacation and going different places and still finding, LCSs and finding places to go in and shop. And at what point do we say to ourselves, like, it's time to take a break? And is it a yearly thing? Is it every couple of years? Does it happen every now and then? Like, I don't know how people figure out, like, I think we all need, like, to recharge our batteries one way or another. Like, we need to step away, whether it's with our family or something else. I just think we need to turn our attention to other things sometimes. And it just got me thinking, like when's the best time of year to take a break in the hobby, to, like, step away and say, I'm just going to recharge and come back? Thoughts?
I think it doesn't matter the time of year. I think you just have to listen to yourself, your body, your mind, like how you're doing. Like if you feel yourself getting drained by cards and you're getting sloppy with how you're making deals, or you're just not. I mean, maybe that's even still being too hard on it because it's a hobby, or like I guess it depends how you use it and value it. But like for me, I don't know when, but I don't think there's a when, but I know what it feels like when I'm ready to just, like, take like a week or something like that, because I'll just forget about it for a week, and then when I come back I do feel rejuvenated. But like I think if you try to time it to like a good time in the market, to like, then you're forcing it. It's too premeditated to be a true, like, because you're forcing a relaxation.
It's like being a teacher, right? And getting a week off in April.
Right. Yeah. So it's just like, I think you have to take that break when your body and your mind is telling you, like, dude, you need to relax.
Yeah. And when people do this full time, do they take a vacation? Do they say, I need a week off, I need 2 weeks off, I need to, or is it just constant? Is it like running a business? Now, I ran a business my whole life, right? So I know, I know firsthand that you're never on vacation. No matter where you are, what you're doing, you still need to be available to people if you're their guy. If you're, like, for me, it was a computer business and their computers break down or something like that, they needed to have someone to reach out to. I needed to be available, right? So is that the same, like in a business with a business mind in the hobby? Like, if this is full time, I need to be on top, every day and available every day.
Yeah.
So when you're getting cards, right, you go off and you get a thing and you make a call, right? Because your people you're moving those cards to, right, they need to be available if they want those deals, right?
Yeah.
So I bet you would be certainly annoyed if you made that call and nobody answered or responded back while you were.
Yeah, but I think that's why I have a few people.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, because another thing too is, like, if someone's trying to sell me something and I'm not available because I'm doing whatever, because I'm not going to be mad, like, that they sold elsewhere to someone else, unless there was something that they're like, hey, I have this for you, let's meet up, and then it gets sold out then I'd be like a little annoyed, but still not mad.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just another thing too, man, is like saying that it's like, this is also really different. There's way more people with way more cards. Like, there's just so many cards. There's enough cards to go around for everyone. Like, there really are. And if you miss out on a deal, there's like 5 other to be had locally, just waiting for you. So it's just, I just realized that, like, if you take a break and come back, could you have missed on something? sure, but there's gonna be other stuff. Like it's never gonna. It's not gonna stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of just brings it right in with I listed it as a second hobby, but it's the same, right? It's keeping the hobby fresh and not getting stale,
Yeah.
right? Which I think is important too. And I on myself, I'm the biggest I'm hard on myself with that, probably more than anybody would be hard on me. I did an episode a couple weeks ago, the hobby reset, going to sell this, going to restock with that. I mean, all those things that I do is just like if I continue to do the same exact thing, at shows and with the same cards and stuff, I mean, I feel it getting stale. Like I will literally feel myself or what I'm doing. I will feel it getting stale. So then I'm just like, okay, it's time just to move on and just do something a little different, right? Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever?
Ken, I've told you some stories about when I meet up with people. I think stale is the last thing that happens when I'm doing these meetups with people, right? There's these off-air stories that we're not telling. So no, I don't feel stale with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What I do feel stale with is like, how many pink optic previews of these quarterbacks can you buy and sell? How many downtowns can you buy and sell? How many kabooms can you buy and sell?
Yeah.
That's the stuff. For me, like, I get excited when I see a really cool autograph or like or maybe it's not even a valuable card, but it's a card that has really cool, like a really cool image on it. And another thing too, when it comes to the hobby that I think, I feel like this is weird to me, since like the whole basis of the hobby, in my opinion, is off of sports, because without sports, like, what are we doing, really? But like, there's a lot of people who they're like cards first, sports second, and I don't get that at all. And I get a lot of people are like that, and I don't judge anyone for it. Like I don't comprehend that, because like let's talk about really quick housekeeping, but this is also kind of the NFL season's back, right? So we're going to start doing Hobby Chop on Tuesday nights.
Yep.
Why is that? Because me and you are not missing Monday Night Football.
We're not missing Thursday.
We're not missing Thursday Night Football, and we're not missing Sunday, like, at all, right? Like, so, and for me, now, like, I remember when I was setting up at a lot of shows, setting up at a Sunday show during the football season, most of the dealers don't even want to be there by the time noon comes around. And if they are there, this was me. I had my showcase. I had my phone sitting there with Red Zone on, like, and someone will come up trying to buy a card, and I'm watching like my fantasy football guys in the Red Zone, and they're asking about a card, and I'm like, I don't care about the card right now. Like, I am looking at, like, that's just me though.
Yeah.
Are you?
What do we hear? What do we hear all the time here? Or like, you don't set up, I still set up, whether it's Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, on a Sunday show. We say, well, Sunday will be busy in the morning, but as soon as 1 o'clock comes around and the games get started, there's nobody's going to be there anymore. So a 2-day show, I really think they should just close it at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, right? Or, give you time to get home and at least catch the 4 o'clock games.
Yeah, like like, it's not anti-hobby, but it's just like I would rather attend sports than be with the cards for like 99% of the occasion. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I don't really put them together. I mean, I know they go together, but sports and fantasy football and that, like that, I find that to be on one side, and the cards and the hobby I find to be on the other, even though they're directly connected. And it gives me so much information on this side to know about the cards and the hobby and things like that. I really find them to be separate.
It's separate in what?
Separate, like, I have my sports and I have my hobby. They're just separate.
I guess, but if Mahomes, that's a bad example.
Yeah, don't be bad talking.
No, I wasn't going to badmouth him. It's just a terrible example because he's already he's already a Hall of Famer. But like I'm saying, like, how many people in their PC would change if that player just started being terrible? So I don't think it's separate.
Well, honestly. I would hope that we're PCing that player more, because if it was our team or there was something more to it.
Well, you're PCing the player maybe because you like the player and how good they're doing.
Yeah, well, that to me is kind of prospecting.
I guess, but like you have the people who PC.
I'm gonna dump the car. He's playing bad. My Daniel Jones cards are all gone because you even know I'm a Giant fan, right? And
Sure. So even if it's prospecting, it's connected though. It's absolutely connected.
It is.
Not disconnected at all. Like you said, it's different. I really don't think it is.
I think
it's not a stock, sure, but it's like the prices are completely affected by.
Oh, I'm not saying they're not affected. I say, well, for me, in my view of things, in my own personal view, I just find them to be separate. I mean, I do.
That's what I said. Is like how are they separate though? Like I know you're saying you find them. I'm like, what makes them separate? What about it makes it separate? Because I'm saying I don't understand how it's separate.
Because as a form of entertainment, I like to sit and watch football, and because of fantasy football, I really like. I don't want to miss a game. I want to be zoned out on Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. Like I just want to sit there and watch, and I can't even. It's like hard to get up to go use the bathroom, right? Because if you pause it and you come back, you gotta catch up at some point, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the hobby is completely different. I'm creating content. I'm buying cards. I'm selling cards. I'm ripping wax. I'm grading. I mean, I just find it to be. They're both entertainment, but they're just different types of entertainment for me. I don't know.
I guess like the processes of the hobby are different than the actual sustenance of it. Is that it? Okay, it's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Yeah. And everybody in the chat, I mean, just jumping back about keeping the hobby fresh, keeping it fresh for you. Anything you guys do to keep it fresh for you. Is there a time of year that you guys like to take a break and you look forward to a break, or you're like, man, I'm not taking a break at all. Like it's pedal to the metal. We're getting on the highway, we're flooring it, and we're gonna stay in the fast lane. And some people do that, and I just know myself. I really got tired. Like my physically, not tired of the hobby, but just physically, I got tired this year. Just the constant going, and I'm looking forward to, slowing it down a little bit, not taking any time off, but just slowing it down. And you and I have talked, and I've talked to other people about I'm going to give up certain shows and I'm going to add some different shows. I'm going to just do, again, keeping it fresh, doing different things this year.
I mean, it'd be crazy if you weren't tired, though. You went and walked national, and then you came back with COVID, and then just got better again and flew all the way out to California to spend like a week out. I mean, and then flew back. So that's exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably still have some of that like COVID fatigue, still, you know what I'm saying? So like I'd be exhausted too.
Yeah. All right. You ready to talk some NFL predictions?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me pull it up. I have my picks in another profile, another sheet right here. Okay. So let's start with AFC East. I feel like it's pretty easy. You let me know. What do you got? Yeah, AFC East.
AFC East Bills.
Same. Pretty easy. I feel like it's self-explanatory, right?
Yep.
I will say this, and it's not a homer pick. So I think the Bills are going to win the AFC East. Don't get me wrong. What I will say is, and people are going to think I'm crazy, I don't really care. And this is not because I'm a fan of them. This is kind of like backed by data, but there's also conflicting data. So here's the big if. If Tua stays healthy.
Homer.
Yeah, I know. If Tua stays healthy, his winning percentage is only behind, I think it's Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. And it can, or anyone listening, like if you go look at their schedule, it is laughable how easy the Dolphins' schedule is this year. And that plays into why I'm saying this. But I don't think they're going to beat the Bills. Like, let's get that clear. Like, I think they're a team everyone is counting out because of just ultimate bad vibes in Miami.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Patriots are going to be, a little. They're going to be tough this year too. I think it's going to be a tougher division than most people think. In the AFC East, I mean, I do. I just think that there's been a lot of changes and a lot of new additions. I think the Dolphins are the only one that still have the same team, but it was kind of all over the place last year with Tua going out and Tua going back, and
Tyreek drama.
Right. Yeah, Tyreek, all that stuff. So I think they were a good team. I don't think there was anything wrong with that team.
Yeah.
And you're right. If Tua can stay healthy,
They win.
and not try to run the ball, I think it's a tougher division.
Yeah.
Even the Jets, and I know people are like, oh my God, don't even mention the Jets. But even the Jets, they're much improved over there. I think they're going to be very competitive. I think that AFC East is going to be a very competitive division this year.
The thing about the Jets is, do you know who their wide receiver 2 is?
Exactly. Brees Hall.
No, it's Josh Reynolds.
No, it'll be Brees Hall catching him out of the backfield.
And the issue with that is Justin Fields is throwing. So if Justin Fields just runs, they'll be fine. Right. I guess. Okay. AFC North.
Who you got?
Smiling like you got something up your sleeve. I went chalk. I went Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to be fantastic this year.
I went Bengals.
You went Bengals.
I think Bengals are going to surprise this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have scarecrows on defense.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to debate it. I'm just telling you. I think they're going to surprise this year.
Okay.
So I think they're going to be an offensive juggernaut this year.
I think they're going to be an offensive juggernaut too, Ken. Absolutely. I'm not, but you have to play defense too.
Yep. I didn't say they were winning a Super Bowl. I just said they're winning the division.
AFC South.
Texans.
Same.
Yeah.
AFC West.
So I had a difficulty here, and I know I'm a Chiefs fan, but I had difficulty picking between the Chargers and the Broncos. And I have a feeling the Chiefs are going to be very good this year, but I think they're going to falter because they're changing up what they're doing this year, and they're going to have some growing pains early in the season trying to figure out, this kind of new offense for them, because I think they're making a lot of changes down there. And I think, I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but I picked the Broncos to win the West.
I picked the Chiefs. I think they're going to be fine. I think Rashee Rice being out this first bit of the year, I think you're going to see Xavier Worthy really take that next step. You saw it in the Super Bowl. You saw it at the end of the year. I think he's going to continue on. And I think when Rice gets back, they're going to be pretty elite. Yeah. I think I picked the Chiefs. I don't think you need to explain why you picked the Chiefs, though, right? All right. NFC East.
Eagles.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty easy.
That's chalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a fun one for me. NFC North.
Vikings. I know.
Same. That's the one I thought. That's what I. Yes, the Vikings.
I thought you had Green Bay.
No,
after that trade, you're like, I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
No,
I'm like,
no. I picked the Vikings. Absolutely, I picked the Vikings.
Yeah. And I think that team was so well put that Sam Darnold looked good over there. I think JJ McCarthy is going to look just fine over there, and that team's just going to continue to roll.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are going to be really good this year, and people really. There's a lot of bad juju. A lot of people don't like JJ McCarthy.
I know.
And the guy just wins.
It's because people those are Ohio State fans.
Yeah, and guess what? He is in probably the best system in the league to just step into.
Yeah.
Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen just got signed back there as a safety net until Addison basically gets off of his suspension, right? Yep. So then you have Jordan Addison come back. Then out of the backfield, you have Aaron Jones, which I think is actually really big for him because Aaron Jones has all this experience. he can catch the ball out of the backfield like nobody's business. And then they signed Jordan Mason, so they have a good backup option too. Jordan Mason from the Niners, who backed up McCaffrey last year. So like they're just through and through good. And then they have the O'Connell. O'Connell, dude, Joshua Dobbs looked amazing. Nick Mullins looked like an above average quarterback. Like it doesn't matter. And honestly, like I just feel like JJ McCarthy is just like, he could just be an average quarterback in the system and be great.
Yep.
Right? Like that's my opinion.
Just like Brock Purdy did.
Yep.
When it went into a good situation.
Hey, and Minnesota's defense is really, really good.
Yeah.
That too. So let's not discount that either. Everyone, it's like their offense has so many names on it. People don't even think about the defense is unbelievable there.
Yeah.
So that was the team I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a lot of crap for, but it sounds like
we have the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, because in that division, they're like betting odds. They're third.
Oh, are they?
Packers and Lions are ahead of them. Which, guess what? I can understand.
But Lions lost a lot of their coaching staff.
I agree. I am very interested to see how that comes around. And then like the Bears for me are such like, I could see it go in like. If you told me any outcome for the Bears, I'd say I could see that. Any outcome. I really could. So
yeah, I think the Bears are still a year or two away from being a powerhouse. Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
South.
NFC South.
NFC South Falcons.
I took the Bucks. And they don't have Godwin and they don't have Tristan Wirfs to like start out the year. So like you could see the Bucks having a really slow start, but the back end of their season is a cakewalk. And I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast. They were saying they were like set my calendar for like a month when the Bucks are like 2-4, so we can bet them to win the division because the odds will be so down. And because the Falcons have an easy schedule to start out, but they're strong, man. They're really.
I'll tell you what, the Falcons had a team going all the way back to Desmond Ridder. They had a great defense. They had a great offensive line. They had people who could catch the ball. They had no quarterback. They finally have a quarterback. So Stroud's coming into his third year, right? I mean, and they've got a great running back.
Stroud. Talking about the Falcons.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was on the wrong one.
Oh, the wrong South.
Yeah, the wrong South. I was looking down at Texans. But it's the Falcons anyway. But they still have. I mean, they have all the pieces in place to do very well over there.
It's Kyle Pitts season.
No way.
Have you seen all the?
You want him? I'll trade him to you in our.
You've seen all the memes and videos of Kyle Pitts, like they're great everywhere. Yeah. In our Hobby Chop Dynasty, I took Kyle Pitts like late because I didn't take a tight end, and I'm just praying that it works out.
Yeah.
West. Okay. NFC West. Who do you got?
Niners. Same.
They have the easiest strength of schedule in the league.
Yeah.
And if they McCaffrey is healthy, right? As of right now, Purdy got paid. Purdy's a good quarterback, in my opinion. We'll see. That division's actually sneaky though, because I could see the Rams winning that easily, and I could see the Seahawks being better than people expect.
Yeah, Seahawks, yes, but I don't think the Rams can.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, and you'll see why I gave you pushback earlier. For the AFC, coming out of the AFC, I have the Ravens.
Oh, so AFC champs?
Yep.
Oh, I had the Chiefs.
Okay.
They figure it out at the end of the year.
You have them as a wild card and then winning the AFC?
Yeah. Okay. I have them as a wild card and going to the Super Bowl, kid.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay. This is really funny. Yeah. Okay.
AFC champs is Chiefs. NFC, Eagles.
I have the Eagles. So I have the Battle of the Birds, and then for the Super Bowl champion, I have the Ravens.
I had the Chiefs.
Which is funny. Who's your MVP?
Joe Burrow.
Mine's Mahomes. That's why it was funny to me because I see. I think Mahomes is gonna have a bounce back here. I don't know why.
Well, he's finally going to have a team he can throw the ball to. I mean, people are like, oh, they didn't do anything to improve the running game. You know, they brought back Kareem Hunt. They did this, they did that. Pacheco, what's he going to be? And I don't think they're really that worried about they got enough people back there to run the ball when they need a first down. But I think it's the air raid.
Break his femur.
Yeah, I think Mahomes is just, remember the year Russ came back, they said, let Russ cook. And he would just throwing the ball everywhere, and I think that's what the Chiefs are going to be. I think Mahomes is going to be throwing that ball everywhere this year. I think Kelsey's just going to be his relief valve. Like, I got no one else to throw to. It's going to you, Kelsey. And I think it's going to take time for all these younger wide receivers to be on the same age as him in order to get them going. I think they're going to have to go beginning of the year. I'm expecting people will be like, remember the year the Patriots lost like their first 3 or 4 games of the season, and they're like, oh no, is this dynasty over? And then they came back and ran it undefeated all the way through and won. I just have a feeling that's what the Chiefs are going to look like this year.
Yeah. So for me, I just think I think the Ravens were probably the best team out of the AFC last year.
Ravens can't win a big game. They can't win.
Him. It was not him. This last year was not him. In fact, he put that throw on his tight end's hands to fall into the end zone, and he couldn't catch it. It is not him. And he had a better statistical season than Josh Allen. Significantly better. Okay? So, I'll give you the past year, but this last postseason was not Lamar. It was not Lamar.
We'll give him. We'll let you give him another year. I won't give him another year.
He also has Derrick Henry.
Yep,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
does that take away from his being an MVP or having that big of a year and being?
I have Mahomes at MVP.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. You're saying he had Derrick Henry last year and they couldn't win. So I can't see them doing any better this year. And look, we haven't even talked about, we know there's going to be a handful of stars that are going down with injuries and could be out the whole year or could be out for a long time. Every year it's somebody, right? It was JJ McCarthy 2 years ago. I just know every time I get a first round pick in the draft, that's usually the guy that gets hurt for the whole year. Christian McCaffrey last year, JJ McCarthy the year before.
I'm just
I had one pick this year. I had the number 1 pick in one draft, and I picked Jamar Chase. So if he goes down, I know I'm jinxed.
That makes me what Ravens? Let's see here. The Ravens were 12-5 last year. I mean, and then they lost by a toe to the Chiefs in the first game. I mean, dude, I think being a little hard on the Ravens there. Not even gonna lie to you.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I've been around long enough to see what.
I think the Chiefs are going to have a great year. I think, yeah. I guess the biggest flaw in my prediction is how are the Chiefs going to lose in the playoffs, and I don't know.
That's the problem.
That's the big thing.
Don't bet against Andy Reid, aka Bill Belichick.
You know what? If I'm thinking about this, then in my prediction, the only way this happens is that the Chiefs draw the Bengals in a wild card matchup, they get a 2 seed, and they have to play Joe Burrow, and that's the only way my stuff works. That's the only guy who can beat him as of now. That besides Hurts,
yeah,
and Tom Brady's retired. So,
all right, kid, great episode. So, as you alluded to earlier, we're gonna try to get back on track. We're off kilter with our episodes. So this week you're gonna actually get 2 episodes of me. You're gonna get 1 episode this week Wednesday, Thursday, and then another episode Sunday, and then we'll be back next week with the Hobby Chop, and then we'll be back going back and forth one episode each way.
Cool.
So that's it. And do you have anything else to add before we shut her down?
I guess that I think JJ McCarthy's going to be all right. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the last thing I'm going to say.
I'm excited.
Could be bad last words to say though, but
I'm excited that football is back. I'm looking forward to Thursday night, Friday night,
Philly Dallas Thursday, right?
Sunday, Monday. I know it's Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday.
Pretty sure it's Philly Dallas in Philly on Thursday, like the ring ceremony, all that.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's it. How do you think Dallas is going to be?
I think they're going to be throwing the ball. I took CD.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I just took CD Lamb in a draft tonight too. I think they're going to be throwing a lot.
Yeah, it could be. And then I think he's running around for his life. Probably gets injured. Joe Milton comes in.
Oh gosh!
Joe Milton starts throwing some 80-yard bombs, and I'm selling all my Joe Milton cards. They're all for sale.
There we go.
We got a plan. All right, kid. Great episode, and I will see you soon.
See ya.
So thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for listening. Please like, please subscribe. And like I said, 2 episodes of me, and next week we'll be back with the Hobby Chop with a brand new episode. Zip. Have a good night.
Have a good one.